right? We are live, and well, welcome everybody. Welcome, boys and girls. This is a new episode of the Volley Talks here in the Plus Volleyball Facebook page. My name is Alejandro Castillo. I'm broadcasting from Mexico City. Here is May 18th, Wednesday, May 18th of 2022. Here is 4 p.m. and I know that in Hawaii is 11 a.m. right now. I'm very glad to present to you in the episode 173, Jakob Thelle from Norway and well NCAA Division One back-to-back champion with University of Hawaii. How are you, Jakob? Nice to have you here in the show.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for inviting me to this this Volley Talk episode. I'm doing great today. Yeah, weather is pretty good. It's a little bit cloudy, but it's always gonna get better. It's always sunny in Hawaii, so I'm doing great today.
Well, you have always great days in Hawaii, right? Or do you have any bad day?
Not too many, because like in case it just be the days where I'm in the gym the whole day, so I can't really see if it's sunny or not. So most of the time it's always sunny. There's always rain up in the mountains and sunny by the beach, and that's why I have a lot of rainbows. So rainbow warriors.
Yes, I know. Well,
yeah,
as I said, Jakob won with Team Hawaii 2 weeks ago, national championship back to back in UCLA this year. Well, congratulations!
Thank you. Yeah, that was a lot of fun this year. We also won last year in Columbus, Ohio, and this year we played in LA. And just having people like watching the games was definitely like the highlight. Like having actually like audience and supporting, and always for us and against us. So that's something really special to volleyball in the US and just anywhere else in the world. So that was fun, a fun experience.
Yeah, well, as you may know, last week I had here in my show for the second time, my very good friend Milan Sarkovic.
Oh yeah, Milos. Okay.
Yeah, the amazing guy.
Awesome.
I met Milan 3 years ago. He came here to Mexico as the head coach of Team USA for Pan Am Cup in Colima, Mexico. So I met him there. Amazing guy, very, very, very funny. And well, he was here last week to talk about the championship. Last year, I also had Charlie Wade, the head coach for the for the first championship. Well, the last year's championship. And it's great to have you here right now, Jakob.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome having a player also, not just the coaches, speak about their experience. So I'm happy to be there.
Yeah. Well, my first guest from Norway, you know, I have had guests from almost 41 countries. This is the first from Norway. It's always good.
Yeah, there's not too many Norwegian volleyball players out there, so I'm happy to be the first one.
Well, I hope I can have in the next future the Beach Volley Vikings, Molan Sorum. It could be great.
You should definitely reach out to them. If not, I can also help with that, because they're really humble guys and they're amazing athletes. So they're just overall, they would be an amazing addition to this Volley Talk.
They were here in Mexico in 2 months ago for the first Elite 18 tournament.
That's right. Yeah, I think they were. Yeah, I think you're right.
Is your phone is ringing?
Yeah, I think that was my messenger, but it should be good now. 1 second. I'll just go ahead and cancel. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay, is it better now?
It's better. Perfect.
Okay, my bad. Apologies.
So well, one thing I ask Jakob is his name is Jakob or Jakob, but well, since you are Norwegian, in Norway it's say Jakob, right?
Yeah, Jakob. My full name is Jakob Solgaard Thelle. So Solgaard or Solgaard, that's my middle name. It's Danish from my dad, and it means the farm of the sun. And that is just a really like family farm in Denmark, I believe, back in a long time back in history. And Thelle is like not a really typical Norwegian last name. So it's only me and my family that are named Thelle. It's not too many people.
Amazing. Well, Jakob, we have just a few minutes, like 40 minutes. So we'll try to focus in the important things. Again, thanks for being here. I know that you have had a great season this year with Hawaii. You are All-American once or twice?
I was All-American honorable mention last season, and this year I received the first team All-American award.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is.
The first player from Norway to be named All-American in volleyball?
Actually not. So Henrik Moll, the brother of Anders Moll, he went to University of Hawaii as a middle blocker, and he received second team All-American, I believe, in his senior year. And also a Norwegian called Bjarne Hus. He played for Long Beach. He won the NCAA in 2018. Also in the Poly Pavilion at UCLA. And I think he received honorable mention All-American. So I'm the third one. And also there's actually my first coach when I played volleyball. His name is Asbjørn Alsi Bølstad. He played at UCLA with Karch Kureli and 83 to 87, and he also received All-American awards.
Yeah, in the early 80s. In the early 80s with
beginning of 80s.
With Coach Hal Skate in UCLA.
Yes, exactly. He played under Skates.
Amazing. How was the environment of the Final Four in the Poly Pavilion, an historic venue, historic gymnasium in UCLA? How was the pressure, considering you and Hawaii won last year, and Long Beach there were back-to-back champions. Ohio State, they were back-to-back champions, and now there were some kind of special pressure for Team Hawaii.
Well, I believe there's always some kind of expectation because we won the national championship last year as well. But considering that we lost 4 of our starters, All-Americans as well, and Rada Parapunov, Colton Cowell, Gage Worsley, and Patrick Gassman, there's always some doubts if we're going to do as well the next year, the upcoming year. But knew that we had a good team and we can always perform really high when it matters. And we had a lot of growth through this season. So we knew coming into the tournament after we beat Long Beach in the Big West Championship and qualified for the NCAA, we knew that we were able to win because we had everything that we on the team that we needed to win. And we had, we had the crowd, we had the fans in our back as always. It's always more people in Hawaii when you play in the Stan Sheriff Center. We have, I think, for sure, the biggest fan base in the United States. And I don't think there's any place in the world where you can kind of get to the same level as Hawaii in the community that cares about volleyball as much. So in LA, we had a lot of fans on our side, also a lot of fans on the Long Beach side and Ball State as well. So that's always some dynamics to play into the game. We just went out there, had fun, and just did our thing because in the end, it's all about the ball on the court. So that's all we kind of focus on. But it's always good having fans supporting us and always also against us.
Yeah, right. I was discussing with Milan this last week, but in Hawaii, the volleyball team is a big thing. It's you have the biggest crowd for a sporting event. That's right.
Yeah,
tell us
no,
something
for sure.
about that.
Volleyball in Hawaii is so unique. I mean, like I said, you have the largest fan base of volleyball in the whole country. And I don't think, again, I haven't played professionally, but I don't think Italy, Poland, Russia can beat the same fan base. Because here everybody cares about volleyball. I would go to the grocery store and just get some milk, get some eggs, and they'd be like, "Oh, you play in the volleyball team?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." So it's always fun connecting and networking with the community because they care so much about you. It's the ohana, the aloha spirit. People just welcome their open hands to you when you come to Hawaii, and it's an honor to represent the community and the people. So I mean, it's just so special. And also we have so many people watching the games. It's a big thing, and always make it a big show in the United States, when they have halftime stuff and they have things in the jumbotron. It's always a big thing, coming out and supporting. So I mean, in Hawaii, you just get nothing like that. It's unmatched.
How different is this atmosphere, Jakob, from you played volleyball in Norway? How different is to play in the place first, Hawaii, of course, and with that kind of crowd? In Norway, volleyball is not the #1 sport.
No, I wouldn't even call volleyball a sport back in Norway.
Oh, really?
It's super small. Indoor volleyball is really tiny, and same with beach volleyball. It's a couple of families that kind of run it, and they have a lot of talent. For sure, we have a lot of talent in Norway. But it's always looking forward to play outside the country. When I played high school, we played first division, and the most that I've had watch our games is at home is 50 people, some teachers, some kids. And before that, maybe 200-300 at most. So I mean, it's again, I can't just coming to Hawaii and just seeing how big it is. I definitely remember the first time I went into the arena and I just get goosebumps. I just couldn't control myself. I was I've seen the games on YouTube and followed on TV. So just being there and playing in that arena is just legendary to me and something I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life. So for me, coming from a small country of Norway that has only 5 million people to the United States and Hawaii. It's, yeah, incredible.
Can you say that men's volleyball in Hawaii is like women's volleyball in Nebraska or in Minnesota?
I think so, if not bigger, because
Yeah.
there's no NFL, there's no NBA team in Hawaii, so you don't have any like really pro affiliation of sports as much. So I think volleyball has a long history, especially on the women's side with the Wahine. Dave Shoji as the head coach for the Wahine volleyball team, having a lot of success, and then that kind of transferring to the men's team as well. And now that we had 2 national championships, and I mean, it's always been the fans that are special, and they had so many fans. And yeah, always I think we even have more people coming to the volleyball games than the football games, and football is a big deal in the United States. So that kind of explains it. Yeah.
Well, please tell us something about your beginnings playing volleyball in Norway. Did you play another sport? How did you get involved in volleyball in a country that volleyball is not so big?
Yeah, it's funny that you ask. Volleyball was the last sport that I tried out. I was 5, I did track and field because my mom was she was in the track and field. And then I played soccer, of course, because soccer is like the biggest thing in Europe and everybody plays soccer, everywhere in the world. So that's what I kind of got into, did a lot of my time. I played handball for a while, and then we moved from a city to another, to where I live now, Tønsberg. And I started because there were some of my friends that were playing volleyball that I'm in class, and I was new to everything. So I wanted to test it out, see how it was. So my first coach, it was actually Asbjørn Wølstad, who played at UCLA. Before that, like I didn't know what that was or how big volleyball was like at that time, because in my hometown, it was just me and my friends playing volleyball for fun after school. That's how I got into it. I was about 11, 12 years old. And I also played soccer at the same time, so I had to do like both sports. And then eventually I decided to just go everything for volleyball because my dad used to play volleyball and he was my coach as well. So I just went for it with volleyball, and yeah, the rest is history. I don't regret.
Well, had you played in the national team, maybe in the under 19, under 21 in Norway, in European Championships?
Yeah, I played a bunch of national team, both indoor volleyball and beach volleyball. So I always like playing volleyball in the winter, indoor volleyball in the winter, and then summer. We only have like 3-4 weeks of summer anyway. But I play beach volleyball a lot in my spare time. So I played national team since I was 15, 16. I got my shot, didn't really play much. And then I got my chance as well, just getting a lot of international experience on the junior national team. So I played a lot of CEV events. I played a couple of world championships in beach volleyball. So yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun with volleyball. It's taken me to so many places in the world, like Asia, like China, taking me to Egypt, taking me to places in Europe. So I travel a lot because of volleyball.
So that was another question, but how you play the beach volleyball, of course, you told.
Of course, I play beach volleyball. Again, like we don't have too many summers. We don't have too long summers. We don't have too many beaches. It's a really small community, but we did have a beach court pretty close to where I live. And in the weekends or whenever after class, after school, I would just go there and I would spend like 4 or 5 hours just playing beach volleyball with my friends. So I always play beach volleyball whenever I can over the summers, and I also play indoor. So I always did both things, and I wasn't sure which one to go for after high school, to be honest.
Well, I know that beach volleyball is big in Europe. You love volleyball. There are places with 18, 20 courts in Germany, in Austria, in Denmark. What's attractive of beach volleyball for people in countries like you that you don't have beaches like Hawaii or like Mexico or like Miami? What's the big deal with beach volleyball in those countries, Jakob?
I think, again, just having really good grassroots people that kind of burn for the sport and the burn for like getting as many people into the sport as well. Just having courts in the backyard, having courts at schools, just getting that in, and also like having clubs that kind of start with beach volleyball and start with more activity that are organized. So my dad, he used to be my coach, as I've said, and he also was my coach in beach volleyball. Has a couple of coaches from Brazil, and just getting like seeing how the sport is. The rest, like in the rest of the world, you definitely want to like try and seek for it. And then like, because we didn't have too much success before, we had some really good teams back in history with Bjørn Moasad, Jan Kvalheim, and Tarjei Skalund, and a lot of others that have played Olympics, but never too much success until the Beach Volley Vikings. But we always had like burning passion for playing beach volleyball as well. So I mean, for me, that was just something I did for fun, and I wanted to kind of do on my spare time. And yeah, I mean, you would never think that Norway would be like pretty good at beach volleyball, but now we are. So
Uh,
all
and
expected things.
did you also play beach volleyball for the University of Hawaii or the?
I think if it was an option, then I definitely would play beach volleyball as well. But because of Title IX and the amount of scholarships, because football has a lot of scholarships and you don't get as many for the sports, like even volleyball is a really tiny sport in the NCAA frame. So I would definitely play beach volleyball if it's an option. And especially because people like my friends would ask me like, so you play beach volleyball in Hawaii? Because I never like beach volleyball. And I'm like, not that much actually, because I'm playing indoor all the time. So I don't get too many times to play beach volleyball, but it's a lot of fun still.
Well, 3 years ago, I also met in Colima with this Pan American US volleyball team, my very good friend Colton Cowell. And I know that he also plays beach, right?
He does. He's also a huge beach volleyball fan as myself. And I know he has ambitions to play beach volleyball after he finished playing indoor. So yeah, we also played with each other and against each other in Hawaii.
Last beach volleyball question, Jakob.
Okay.
And I have to do this.
Sure.
What is the impact for sport in Norway? Have a team like the beach volleyball Vikings, Moland Servo. Which is the impact for the sport and for the country?
Oh, I mean, immense. Because it's so just first of all, having idols you look up to, just like myself. When I grew up, I wanted to be like, okay, like this soccer player. I want to be like Fernando Torres or anybody like they're really good in that sport. So just having that, those kind of people that have success and also that are really humble, they connect with the community. It just means everything, because it's all about spreading the sport and starting at the younger age. So it's a lot of motivation for everybody, especially, but also the kids. So I mean, that's just about growing the sport as much as you can, and they definitely accomplished that. And I know that volleyball is a lot bigger now thanks to them. So
yes,
yeah, incredible.
Sure. For sure. Well, Jakob, how is I know that Charlie Wade and Milan Sarkovic and also Long Beach and UCLA, and BYU, they are recruiting more and more internationally. What do you think about this, and what was your process since you were playing as a young player in Norway that Milan or Charlie Wade contact you and they say, hey, you are a Norwegian guy, come to play for Hawaii?
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's really great, and it's also really important that because you have all players all around the world that want to play in the US because like how they market the whole NCAA division, it's a big deal. And even for myself, I didn't know if I wanted to play college after high school. Until I always seen like a couple guys like Henrik Mall playing for Hawaii, Bjarne who's playing for Long Beach. I knew what it was. I didn't know how big it was, but I knew like it looks pretty exciting. So I had a chat with Henrik Mall, and that's how I got into talking with. I learned about Hawaii, and I was like, well, okay, I definitely want to go there. Like, there's no other place I want to go than Hawaii and play volleyball. Like, just from hearing what he said and sharing his experience. So that's how I got in touch with the coaches. And I mean, just for everybody, like you have a lot of international recruits for different universities, and I think it's really important that you have some more of international mix into the whole league, because it definitely adds a lot of uniqueness into this whole like sphere of volleyball, because it's not just in the US. You can also expand with the rest of the world. So just having different diversity on the team from different cultures, I think it definitely, it makes it more of a sport that it is. It's worldwide sport. It's not just America. So I mean, I think it's a really important thing, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, last year you had Radu Paraturan from Bulgaria as the MVP of the tournament. This year there is Guilherme from Brazil, right? And two Greeks. Who else?
Yep. We also have Philip Humler from Czech Republic.
Right.
So we are kind of like the internationals now. We also have somebody who are half Japanese, Cole Hoagland, local boys from Hawai'i, and we also have people from all over the United States. So Hawaii is always, if not the biggest, like most international group of guys. So last year we also had, Bulgaria. We had James Anastasiades from Cyprus. So definitely present a lot of different places in the world. So it's really unique. And I think it fits to Hawaii because Hawaii is a culmination of cultures from Asia, from United States, from Europe. So you always have like a big bunch of people kind of met like in one couple islands. So yeah, it goes well together.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Ivan Contreras?
Ivan,
Ivan Contreras.
I do not think I have.
Well, Mexican guy, very nice guy. He was the
Okay.
assistant coach for the Mexican Olympic team in Rio 18.
Hmm.
He played in Penn State for Coach Mark Public from, I think from 91 to 95. First, non-Californian guy to be named MVP.
Right on.
In 94.
That's amazing. That's good for the sport. Incredible. Because I know like a lot of people have dreams, like even myself, I had a dream to come to the US and play eventually, and just living that dream is just incredible. So it's always fun being a part of something bigger.
Yeah, right. If it weren't Hawaii, what did you choose to play for Hawaii? But you have at that time another offers from other colleges, or your first choice, your first option was only Hawaii?
I mean, I had different options for sure that I wanted to seek in. I was kind of back and forth between a couple of schools, but I knew that Hawaii was where I wanted to go, and that became pretty clear to me. And just like hearing again from Henrik Moll, just that experience, how we had it, like there was no other place that could match Hawaii. So that's something I wanted to go for. Yeah, right. For me, there was no other option.
Perfect. So for you, Team Hawaii, well, Hawaii is how many flight hours from LA? 2, 3?
Usually 3 flights, and about 30 hours of travel time altogether. So it's a long trip. And when I go back from Christmas, usually it's about 40 hours. Sometimes if I get a bad one, a really good one is like 25. So it's definitely like for Norway, like it's the farthest away you can get possibly from Norway. Hawaii, it's in the middle of the Pacific, you know, like yeah, right. It's all the way across the world. So it's really far away.
Yeah. How difficult for the team, Jakob, is to travel to mainland USA, to continental USA, to California, to BYU, maybe Ball State this season? It's extra pressure for you, right? It's more job.
It's more job traveling, yeah. For me, like I wouldn't barely even call that a travel compared to the guys that are like never like left much of Hawaii or the mainland. For me, it's like a super short trip. If you like fly 6 hours and go in the bus for 2 hours, I was like, it's pretty short. So it's not that much for me, but it's definitely something like getting experience playing against teams in their arena. And for now, like we definitely got used to it. It's all about seeing different gyms, and it's always different people as well, like cheering against you. But altogether, it's a part of the sport, and I kind of embrace it myself. Like I like playing in those uncomfortable situations, uncomfortable atmosphere. So that's something that I kind of liked about it.
Great. What are you studying in Hawaii, your major?
I'm studying global environmental science. So a lot of scientific research on climate change and climate change impacts on the community. So I just graduated last week with that degree, actually in Bachelor of Science. And then I'm staying for another year. I will pursue a master's in environmental planning and policy.
All right. So you're entering your senior year.
It'll be my senior year for volleyball, but it'll be my 5th year in Hawaii.
All right. Amazing. We need more people like you.
Thank you.
Taking care of
I think there's people everywhere that always also do important work, but definitely this is one of the like more upcoming, like more important stuff that's going on like with climate change. So yeah, it's really fun. Yeah,
right. And Jakob, once you end your school in Hawaii, which are your immediate plans? Going play pro in Europe or for a master's in global science? What are your plans?
Yeah, so always since I was a little kid and when I started playing volleyball, I always had a huge dream to play professionally, do volleyball for a lifetime and just play as much as I can. I always had idols. Like I looked up to Marius Lashley in Skra when he played there, a legend. And also more other players like in Italy. Just I wanted to play professionally. That was for sure like the main thing for me. And Hawaii is definitely like one step towards it. Even though it's an amateur league and amateur sport. I definitely want to go play pro after I finish my college career. So that is my next plans after I finish next season.
Any league in special? Well, Polish league is amazing. Italian league is amazing. France is good also. Germany with Berlin Recycling Bodies with Kelly Kessel. Had you had any contact with any team?
No, because I'm not allowed to have any contact or any professional affiliation because of the NCAA regulation. I do know where I want to go. I want to go to Italy. I want to go to the big leagues, but it's always tough, like knowing like where you're at, where level. If you want to play more, then maybe you want to start in like in a lower division or a lower league in a different country. But in the end, I want to play volleyball where I can enjoy my life and enjoy playing the sport that I love. And I found with it. I played with the national team. I played in Poland. I know for a fact because I was 13 years old and I watched 14 years old and I watched the 2014 World Championships.
Yeah, right.
I watched big games like Bulgaria, Germany. I saw Brazil play. I got a picture with Bruno Descenda. I got a picture with Georgi Grosso, so that was pretty big to me. But also that volleyball was big in Poland, and I also was there last season. We played the Hubert Wagner Memorial Tournament with the national team in Taurun Arena in Krakow, and just the amount of support. The Polish fans are also incredible, so I definitely would want to play in Poland again.
Yeah, well, in Poland, especially for the national team, they go crazy.
Yeah, and also volleyball is a full like national sport in Poland. So I mean, it's like maybe one of the biggest sports or the biggest sport that I have in Poland. So it's a huge community as well. But yeah, that'd be the goal.
For that opening match in the World Championship of 2014, that match were held in the football stadium with 60,000 people.
Right. Yeah, that's
Amazing.
true. I watched that. I know, it's incredible. And that just says like how big it is in Poland. I mean, yeah, it's something you don't get anywhere else. And yeah, incredible. So if I could play in front of 60,000 people, I would be a little bit nervous, but also I would enjoy it because so many people come to watch. And that's what we play for, not just ourselves, but the people that come to watch.
Yeah, right. Jakob, can you tell us something about your life role models? Not only volleyball, but your role models in life to be a better person, a better professional.
Yeah, I always had a couple of role models when I played soccer. I wanted to be like Fernando Torres. He was always aggressive in his play, and
El Niño Torres.
Yeah.
Yeah, El Niño, the child.
Yeah.
Fernando Niño Torres.
He played for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Back in the days. I definitely had more I wanted to be like my dad, and the way when he was playing volleyball. I know I didn't watch too much. I watched in the gym when he was playing like some kind of veteran volleyball, but always my dad. He was also my idol. And I watched a lot of volleyball. Like I watched a lot of professional games in the Liga in Poland and Serie A in Italy. So I wanted to be like those like really just legends like Mariusz Laszlo, Bartosz Kurek, then later on Micah Christensen, Said Maruf, like all these great setters that I have a countless like name, and I always have memorized the names, memorized the plays, just because I was so passionate about volleyball at a young age. So
yeah, well, Luciano Checo is also amazing.
Checo as well. There's so many good setters and world-class setters and players that I can mention, but I can't mention all of them. But yeah, everything, like I know all of them for sure. So
for sure,
they definitely influenced my play.
I was talking about volleyball. Which player from actual volleyball or past volleyball in the past years did you idolize? Players that maybe you have watched them or not, or you only read them?
Yeah, I mean, I watch all of them. There's always like some couple of things that I kind of try to draw from a couple. I follow Micah Christensen a lot, and I worked with my setter coach in high school. We always like follow what he was doing with his hands. He's really soft hands, really good location and good footwork. So he was definitely like some part of what I was looking for to be a good setter. The Checo, like you mentioned, he has just some really creative plays, getting some different like taste to the volleyball, because it's not just black and white like Russian volleyball. You play high balls all the time and just go and hit on top of the antenna. Like you can always mix it up, make it more creative, and that's something that I try to do myself in the play. So it's a good balance of being you want to be a plow horse, but also want to be like you can be a plow horse and a show horse. You don't want to be like too much of a show horse, but do both things as a setter. So I think it's always good working hard as a setter, being consistent, and also having some kind of creative place as well. So I draw things from all the setters in the world pretty much that I look at, but especially those guys.
Well, now you mentioned Michael Christensen, who is an amazing guy, a two-time Olympian, and he played this last season in Russia for Kazan. Michael Christensen, when he went to Rio to play Olympics and he got bronze, he had never played one pro game. Do you know that? Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I know that he came straight out of college to play with the national team.
Yeah.
In 2014, so he was already a really good setter at that time, but I didn't know that fact. No, that's incredible. Yeah. And he's also a young setter. Like usually like you want to like you see a lot of setters that are old, but I think like adding like a couple like more like young people, like young setters that are also pretty good at it, it's good for the sport, and you can see that definitely with Mike Christensen.
Yeah, right. Jakob, we are in the final minutes of this amazing talk. Thanks a lot. Talking about next season, when do you start to train? When do the season starts in January, right? What is the process for the team who only plays on the spring? When you return to college in the fall, which is the process to be again in the court to play volleyball?
Yeah, so again, because we're part of the NCAA, it's they always like regulate the way our activities go, including practice and weightlifting. So it always starts back when the school starts, like late August, and then it's just open gym. So we have players that lead the practices, and then we have a limit, so how many hours we can do a week. And we just try to get the most out of it, really. And then we start what is called 20 hours in like mid-October. So we have 20 hours of full like weightlifting and volleyball practice, so we can practice 5 times a week for 2 hours at least. Usually we practice for 3 hours, and that's when we kind of go into like the full like preseason prepping for the season, which is pretty short. Then we finish in December. We have some spring holiday break, Christmas break, and we come back and start season pretty quick after again. So that's usually how it goes. It starts pretty relaxed, and then it goes a lot of intensity, and then it kind of drops down again, and then season starts, and it just goes up and up and up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
For this summer, you have activity with your national team?
Yeah, so this summer we have another European Championship qualification. We're in the pool with Greece, so I hopefully I will play both Spiros and Dimi in August, and we're also in the pool with Cyprus and Croatia. So we hope to qualify for that. We have a lot of good players, but we haven't really got everyone in because of injuries and different things. But now we have a really good group and a lot of experience playing, a lot of players playing professionally as well, and great coaches. So we definitely have our plans for the summer. And I will do surgery next week first for my knee that has been pretty bad this season. And then hopefully I can be good for August and play. But I'll take it as it goes. But that's my plan, is to play with the national team in August.
Amazing. You are in a very, very tough confederation, the CEV with Europe, a lot of very strong teams, but I can assume that you have the Olympic dream. You would love to be in the Olympics with maybe indoor or maybe beach.
Mm-hmm.
For
both.
For both, yeah, of course, like cars, why not? But yeah, it's a tough road, right? Especially but in Europe and for a country like Norway.
It is, and again, like volleyball is really a small sport, and we only have 5 million people, so like nobody really knows much about volleyball. It's all about Winter Olympics. So you see, like Norway always like finish on top with the medals at Winter Olympics.
Yeah, right.
Summer Olympics not as much, but it's growing. Same thing. Volleyball is also getting more. It's getting bigger. A lot of youth level, but we do have a lot of great players, and we never qualified for European Championships. So that would be a good start for like this summer to qualify for the European Championship, and then take it as it goes, and hopefully reach the Olympics.
I hope that.
Yeah.
Jakob, next year the NCAA Final Four will be held in George Mason in Virginia. The head coach of George Mason, Jay Hosak, is my very, very good friend, and his wife. And Jay told me, "Hey, Alejandro, next year you gotta be here. You will stay here in my home, okay, in Virginia. So, Jakob, I hope to see you next year in the Final Four again."
I hope so too. That's definitely the plan. So far, we did it back to back, and why not a three-peat? Like we've shown that even though we have a whole new different team, we can still be one of the best and the best team of the country. So we're ready to give everything again. We have a lot of players returning. In fact, all the starters are returning next year, and that goes with the same in the US because it's really open. It's a high level volleyball community, and you have this year, like I think it was between 10 teams that can win it all in the end. In the end, just who wants it the most. So we'll definitely want it again next year, and we hope to be there in Virginia at George Mason.
I hope that. And last question, and it's a very, very important question, especially for you. Yeah. Which Mexican food do you like the most? And I have to tell you that Chipotle and Taco Bell are not Mexican food.
No, I would not count that as Mexican either.
No?
I'm a huge fan of tacos. I always, when I'm in San Diego, go to a place called Roberto's, and they have all kinds of different food. But the chimichanga is maybe my favorite, if you count that as Mexican, chimichanga. So that's like one thing.
Yeah.
If not, enchiladas for sure.
Enchiladas is a great.
Yeah, so that's a favorite food that I would make. I also make that at home. My dad, who makes really good enchilada, so I always enjoy enchiladas.
Do you have a Mexican restaurant in Norway?
No, I wouldn't call that Mexican at all. But it's funny because it's tradition to have Taco Friday. So all Norwegians, like it's a Norwegian like national Taco Fridays. Everybody makes tacos in their home. So the grocery store is like full of tortillas, all kinds of salsa, meat, steak, and yeah, everybody just makes tacos on Fridays. Yeah, everything. So I mean,
in Hawaii,
I love tacos.
In Hawaii also, but not in Norway.
In Hawaii, there's some places, but again, fake taco places or fake Mexican places.
No,
the real Mexican places are.
These Taco Fridays are in Hawaii, not in Norway.
In Norway.
In Norway.
In Norway, yeah, you wouldn't expect
really?
that at all. Yeah.
Wow.
In Norway.
With tequila and
every
Coronas,
Friday I make tacos. Huh?
With tequila and Coronas?
Not too much tequilas. Maybe some Coronas on the Friday night evening, but yeah, it's tradition. So I love making tacos and eating tacos.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, Mexican food is great.
It's amazing. Mexican food is amazing. I cannot tell the same for the politicians, but food is great.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll go to Mexico eventually and try some Mexican food in the country as well. And see the country because I definitely want to go.
Let me know when you're here in Mexico, please.
Okay, I'd love to come.
Jakob, thanks a lot for being here. I'll ask few words for the people who are watching us.
Just want to thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you for listening to this legendary volleyball talk. I'm happy to be here and also be a part of it. It's all about spreading the sport, spreading the aloha as well. So growing the sport as much as you can. And yeah, thank you again for tuning in. It was a pleasure to be here. Aloha.
All right. Hey, just I'm gonna take a picture. So smile, Jakob. Jakob, thanks a lot. Wish you the best, and I hope to see you next year in George Mason.
Thank you. Same to you. Aloha.
Bye. Aloha.